Let's do it. Line Rider 2, Unbound.
So, Line Rider is a classic game. Depending on when your childhood was, you likely saw it perhaps in school, perhaps otherwise. Rider 2, Unbound, is the DS version, and I'm curious how differently it plays. We're going to be going through the story mode, which is going to look somewhat familiar to people who've seen Line Rider. We're going to be drawing lines, but there's also going to be things like speed up lines and slow down lines that'll change how the game is played compared to, say, the original.
I had no idea there was a Line Rider game for the.
Neither did I. And then I watched every single DS game. That somebody made a 9-hour compilation of 10 seconds. And I just put that on in the background and then got surprised by some of the games that showed up. This was one of them. The controls are a little bit funky, but they'll get used to them very quickly, and a lot of these early levels are not really a problem. You just draw the line. Mundungu is going to learn here that the areas that you're allowed to draw in are just the green box, but making a jump there is more than fine. I like what AiCo's doing here, which is just taking a moment to learn how the tools work. It's obviously going to lose him a little bit of time here momentarily, but figuring out which tool, if you want to do like a drawing line versus a straight line, learning how to do that now instead of on the fly is going to be worth it.
Mundungu having a bit of trouble with this tutorial stage. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be doing to get over this.
I think you're meant to change the color to be a boosty color, because you're just trying to get up a hill and you don't really have much like natural momentum. But I am not. Yeah, there we go. So we see on one of the screens there's the option for a speed line. Speed line, other than like making the animations go quicker, like the sooner you can get your guy through the level, the faster you're going to be able to complete this race. Is also just going to be important for being able to get over large jumps or over hills.
Looks like the game's telling us to use this low line now. Over shift
Yeah,
to go.
so they might be a bit hesitant to use something that's called a slow line, but you can see on Mundungu, if you don't slow down right before the finish, the character will just fly off. And so it works similar to like a brake pad.
It's absolutely something if I were racing I would forget about in 2 levels because you don't want to go slow.
You end up using it a fair amount, as I recall. Though it's usually pretty obvious when they like put a little green spot right before the finish, that it would be appropriate. Whatever Mundungu just did was too quick. I'm kind of proving the point.
Trying to illustrate your point that this low line is needed.
I think AiCo's just missing because I think blue is the color of like the regular line, and I need to get to the speed line. There they go.
Oh,
So we're gonna Act 4 today. This is Act 2. The first level is more or less a tutorial. Now we have like choices. A lot of the choices aren't gonna be too difficult. It's gonna be, do you want to take all the coins that don't matter versus do you want to take the most straightforward path? But as we get later into the game, we might see a difference in path. I love the minimap, by the way, that just shows you a bunch of things and then doesn't show you anything that you've actually drawn or like anything helpful.
Very nice minimap.
Mundungu's actually no. Okay, so there is a little trick here that I ended up doing quite a bit, which is only putting slow at the very end of the finish line. It's slower to set up because it involves like drawing two lines. You gotta draw a regular line and draw a slow line. But like Mundungu's getting to the end of the level here. Yeah, okay, got there this time. And has a couple options. Like he fixed his method to get to the end of the level instead of just fixing the end of the level, and it worked out. So these are the sort of annoying levels where you need to figure out how much you need to boost, but if you boost too hard, your guy just starts doing flips and can be unruly. Also, you can just like completely jump over the apex if you're not careful. See how Mundungu's first instinct works? Yeah. But no.
That's close to working. Got a bit more boost there. Let's see if it can make it this time.
Yeah, so he has the choice of like, you know, drawing a real line, trying to do the actual solution the game wants, or you can just rely on the fact that he's gonna have a similar replay. And perfect. He's absolutely trucking through here. Aiko's had a slower start, but does have the secret tech, which is the other kind of line. It's like pure line rider, like just draw on the screen with your what would in the original hardware be like a DS stencil. For us now, it's a mouse.
Does it make a difference? Is there a level that requires you to draw a freeform line?
It can just be more friendly. Like if you want to draw a loop-de-loop, for example, you might just want to do that freeform instead of like drawing 6 different lines to try and make it circular. With a lot of these early levels, though, I think it's gonna just be slower than point A to point B. So Mundungu does have to collect all the red dots, and you can see on the minimap that like the general curve of what it, that's gonna look like. I do believe this is also like the first level where I got slowed down a bit. Just making these large jumps and like having it be a smooth transition. So because if you like take a bump face first into the ground, you lose a lot of your momentum.
That makes sense. I do tend to stop when I fall face first into the...
Yeah, right? The yellow... Yeah, okay, so this doesn't work. So Mundungu just is naturally sitting on speed, which it's called speed. It's gotta be fast, right? But the issue is you can't go over these reds, because you do need to collect all 6 before you finish the level, or I believe you need to collect all 6. There might be levels, I don't recall, that maybe don't require all of them, but I believe you need to collect all of them.
The base bean says you need to collect all of them. So you in the past agrees with you in the present.
I was doing the old crime of watching the stream instead of watching your stream, so now the commentary should match up better. Aiko, let's go. Slow and steady, but he's there. And they're on the same level.
Level now.
Yeah, so when I submitted this, I was like, this is a good racing game. The only concern I had was if there would ever be people who had similar levels of blindness to Line Rider. Like these are obviously unique levels. There's some additional mechanics, but I'm happy that we've been able to find two people who figured this would be a fair race. I also don't love it. Like we had this pulled with a double, and like trying to get 4 people on screen with the DS setup is not the best streaming experience anyways, so I'm happy this is a single too. So this is a level where I think having the curved path and like using that tool would potentially be better, because now Mundungu is going to try and smoothen it out by doing 2 lines. But you can imagine if you just draw it curvy, the situation might be resolved anyways.
AiCo has a curved line, but didn't get enough speed to make it to the top.
I like this from AiCo, trying to just ignore by jumping over the... Oh,
Oh, skipped
it's
over.
too good.
Yeah.
This is innovative. Yeah, but not enough boost, not enough speed. AiCo's gone for a ramp, which... yeah, I don't believe that's ever gonna be the solution. Mundungu's gotta be careful. You gotta draw all your lines left to right in, at least for now. As the game goes on, you might need to like go through a platform, but right now we just are trying to go right.
Oh, I noticed Mundungu just went through the line, fell all the way to the bottom, so that's what that was. It's funny to watch a game where big obstacle is just a ramp.
It's just, it should just be hold forward, but, and Line Rider guy loves holding forward, but how do you make him hold forward correctly? So AiCo's trying to like really manufacture this line, but he's actually, I think both of our racers are losing a lot of speed prior to the line, and just nope. AiCo's drawing right. He's gonna have trouble with that. Okay, but they're both on the freeform line. They're both trying to make magic. Mundungu makes it over, but not successfully. And they're just restarting constantly. It's a battle here. Mega Number, did you use the like the freeform drawing or like curve tool? Because if you're just trying to do it with straight lines, yeah, this level's hard. Like, it's unreasonably hard for where it is in the level pack. Because I think this game will go back to being easier when they are trying to explain new concepts. Mundungu's finally going back to the drawing board at the very beginning of the level. And it's pulling up the blue. It's just really unsmooth, and it's just like unclear what the best way to make it feel seamless and get the full speed is for these players. And I'm not sure what they're really doing wrong. It's just looking similar to what I thought I did.
This level doesn't seem hard conceptually. It's just you need to learn how to make your line smooth and not lose speed. I guess it's a lesson that once they'll learn, the rest of the game will become a lot easier.
I liked what Aiko was doing earlier, which was like trying to skip the small portion of the line that isn't boosted. But then he wasn't grabbing the red. Also true, Whitley. The issue that they had, because they are sticking to using only speed, is just when they went over the edge here, they were just flying. This is Mundungu taking your advice, basically. And yeah, it's all lost when on the transition into the jump. Okay, Aiko's drawn a crazy man's line. And unsurprisingly, it doesn't work because he's lost all the momentum that he would have gotten earlier. Mundungu's gone with the fly over everything approach, which is gonna miss a one of the points previously. I like this from Mundungu, but he's just lost all momentum, like getting onto the boosts.
And Dragon doesn't like it. Going back to just down.
Okay, so Mundungu's trying what Aiko did previously, which is just jumping over the bad part of the perfect. So Aiko did that earlier. Aiko jumped over the like non-boosted portion. Aiko's actually trying something very similar here, but his path isn't smooth anymore. But yeah, trying to not be on the. I have the ability to draw, but not being on the non-boosted portion is the thing that I think both these players have found, but Aiko didn't believe in it, or forgot what that solution was at some point. Mundungu's at the fun part of this game, where you get loop-de-loops. It's not necessarily easy, but I think it's a lot more enjoyable than trying to fandangle this 2-4.
It's essentially the same problem. You want to get speed on the slope and maintain that speed.
Yeah, Aiko's lost the plot. These non-smooth lines are just losing a lot of momentum, and you do need to use the speed that you're getting from the downhill, even if it's a bad transition. This level is called Loop-de-Loop, which is always a good sign. I think if you were like completely blind to Line Rider, This could be a level that could be difficult, but between the fact that I don't think too many people are blind to Line Rider and the level being called Loop-de-Loop, and our players being good at video games, I trust that they'll be more than fine here.
Loop is already drawn for you. I'm going to say that this last part seems more problematic. You need to fall the other direction.
Yeah, this is I think where I just did line writer things when I tested this personally or submitted this, which is kind of just draw things until they until they somehow happen to work. Like this.
Nice.
So you could be like super stylish and do the upper path here, but there is absolutely no incentive. It will likely cause you pain and suffering. Meanwhile, for Aiko, what you want to avoid is just like the line that I would like to see is something where you make a difference between here and the platform. He did it previously, but when the rider goes onto the slow platform, he loses a lot of the momentum that he was gaining from the speed up line. Mundungu didn't. Oh, that's fine. He missed grabbing the red power, like the goal marker, on his first go through. Got it on the back swing, but then the back swing means that he's not doing the loop-de-loop, which might be fine, but it's not like what's clearly being intended by the game's original design. This is much more intended, and good stuff. Getting a pretty decent lead here. This is when the game starts going insano mode on you. Just a lot of different options. All of them seemingly fine until you start drawing. You got a ton of drawing space up here, like an intimidating amount. And Mundungu doing the safe approach of just building a large wall, so if the guy goes flying, he has a backboard. It's gonna be really sad if Aiko just loses this race just on not on this one mini puzzle. This looks healthy. Nope. Aiko wants it to go onto the line smoothly, which might work, but hasn't been how I've seen this level being previously.
Made it up the last time, but it hit the ground and fell off the back.
Yeah, and it's just pretty brutal. Like when you like are redrawing the line and then it's worse. Like this game doesn't have an undo feature of like what I was doing previously was kind of good. Can I please go back to that? Mundungu's having a lot of fun, and now he's upside down and should definitely hit the pause button. There's a lot of opportunity here for like just saving frames when you know that things are going poorly. But I think this is actually like a surprisingly draining game to try and race, is my impression. I love this game. It's such comedy when you just like impale your guy and the sled just goes flying. Come on, Aiko. Just try something new. Maybe that is actually the issue, is because it's more or less infinite options for line drawing. Not realizing that it's an issue of like the actual puzzle and not just line quality. That looked healthy, except for I only made it halfway, but made a lot of speed there.
There's also this problem that if you make too much speed, you jump over both the non-boosting part and the boosting part. It's not what you want.
Mundungu's problems right now remind me of like when I played Line Rider as a kid, where you're like just trying to do a cool thing, and the game's just not letting you do the cool thing. But eventually, you'll just randomly pull it off. What happened there?
I drew the line top to bottom, I think.
Yeah, so he drew, it's right to left is the issue. Which I think Sully reached out to me and was asking to remove the right to left from the paste bin. And I was like, I trust you on that, buddy, because if this works the second loop around, it'd be very funny for Mundungu. It doesn't, but if the players aren't figuring out why their lines aren't working, I figured that'd be a point of frustration. I feel bad because Aiko's a friend of mine, and I've generally like been hyping up. I'm like, you're gonna enjoy the sort of games I put in the pool because he's a puzzle guy, and while my submissions are like somewhat diverse, I'm definitely leaning more puzzle. This is definitely a puzzle, and my man's just getting walled on a mean out of place level. Obviously, like World 3 is like the loop-de-loop level, and it's not like Mundungu's looking at an easy solve either, but it's just unfortunate to see the infinite solutions of Line Rider just given so much trouble. He's pulled out the curve tool, which is the third way you can draw lines. And it's made it yellow. And then drew it right to left, so it doesn't work.
So what's the point of drawing right to left?
I'm not 100% sure. Like if you do like a loop-de-loop, for example, like fully, you might like want to be able to go through the line and then later land on it. Or like use it as a ceiling or whatever. But why the game like is so strict about it, I'm not sure.
Sully attempted to explain it in chat. I'm not sure I really get it. But if you draw right to left, you go through the line and you fall down.
Yeah, like if you're trying to build a ceiling, for example, having a way to do it mechanically by separating left to right versus right to left makes sense. It's just a design choice, to be honest. Aiko's got speed.
Wow.
Come on. And the issue for Aiko is like he wants to change very little because it was very close to working. Okay, here we go.
That was such a weird line shape. I didn't believe in it, but it worked.
Yeah, and that was the like really smooth line. He's using the curve tool. I'm curious if he sticks on that tool now that it has worked out, or if he's just gonna go back to the more straightforward. But that's tangible progress, and we have a race because Mundungu has been generally like stalling out here on these World 3 levels. Aiko has found the other way to play Line Rider, which is go as fast as possible and then figure out why that didn't work. We're already 30 minutes in. It does not necessarily feel like that, but this game is giving these players a decent amount of trouble. I'm optimistic Aiko might just steam through a lot of these. But for like Mundungu here, he's got a lot of different ideas and it takes time to test them all.
Not sure what Mundungu's trying to do anymore. I kind of like the original idea better. Just go straight and then fall down somehow.
Yeah, you can't fall into the pit because you need to get both of these reds anyways. It's just you have to like lose some of the speed before you get to the what I'm going to call the second portion. Because if you don't, you end up just flying into the ceiling that you've made. This might be it. And it's close enough to being it.
Wait, what?
That's very rude, game.
Mundungu got robbed there.
Yeah, but it should be a quick fix.
And he also got help because went through a ceiling and somehow that worked. Like there.
Yeah. Welcome to Line Rider. This is why I was excited when I saw the game existed on the DS. It doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. One of the difficult things I think these players are having is just the puzzles not on screen. You have to scroll around and like figure out where all the platforms are. This is a classic Line Rider idea of getting a lot of speed by free falling. If you've ever seen like a Line Rider video on YouTube, it's often like themed to like the Hall of the Mountain King, and your character is just gaining more and more speed. I like Mundungu's approach here, which is not trying to do the whole level in one fell swoop. He's just trying to make sure that the first jump is successful, and it was pretty close there. The last part of the level doesn't look as difficult. And quite unsurprisingly, he's just living on the speed line instead of anything else. Meanwhile, Aiko's not far behind. Despite being walled here, that's progress, and I believe gravity is the level that was giving. No, it's not. Okay, he is further behind than I thought he
Probably the
was. But
next one.
yeah, the level that Mundungu was getting stuck on, I believe, was 3-3 then, and is on 3-4. Is that a finish, Mundungu?
It is.
It is. So nice of the game to oh, I can tell you that's going to be a lot of speed. To give us lines already drawn. I'm sure they aren't completely trolly and gonna give you a lot of trouble. I promise you, you cannot just draw everything speed throughout this whole game. And I would love to be proven wrong. Good use of the curve tool. I think it was probably going to be slightly too curvy, but... yeah, close.
It almost worked somehow.
Yeah, you want to make a bit more of a loop, I assume, here. That wasn't the portion I had problem with, Mundungu. Yeah. He's not really landing on the portion that you changed the color on, so it didn't really change the resolution, which was his poor little line rider guy probably getting concussion. Is this a good finish from Aiko? It is. And like I thought, Aiko's a good puzzler, and once he got past the wall, he's been making speed. That was definitely faster than Mundungu, and has a lot of opportunity to make good time on Mundungu, because Mundungu spent a lot of time on the level that Aiko is on now. For those just joining us, this is a 1-level lead, I believe. We still have Act 4 to do after this. And so this is going to be a long race, but these guys are good. This is late Act 3, so we got maybe another level in this act or not for Mundungu. And then Act 4. The acts are about 5 levels.
It's a 2-level lead, I think, but the next level, Mundungu cleared it so fast that it didn't even register.
I trust you on that. So Mundungu is being a responsible adult and is not just using the speed line consistently.
Okay, we
And
did
is
an
rewarded
actual
for it. He did miss one of the coins there, but this looks like it's non-tangible progression. Just needs to fix up small things. So this is where like the right to left would be applicable. If you can draw this right to left, the line won't block the first portion of the loop-de-loop. I don't think that's a reasonable thing to do here. I think you just need to make the line shorter. But there's potential for like why you would need to draw right to left. I like this from Mundungu. I think this might be a finish.
close.
Commentator's curse is infinite power. Let's see from Aiko. He's got a lot of speed here. Yeah. Yeah. The issue with like the long line wall is it if your character lands on it correctly, you then just have more of a downhill to gain even more speed, which is something that you need to resolve.
Trying to resolve it by making the whole wall slow line, but that's not really doing anything.
Yeah. I'm not sure. No, this is making the situation worse as far as I'm concerned. Mundungu's got the piece that they were missing, but then didn't land smoothly into their lines that they drew for the first portion. Didn't work out.
And it's just a bit more speed here in the end. I'm gonna get this pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm curious. It looks like he's gonna just take the slow speed and then just try and like hop up to the next thing instead of using the loop-de-loop, which is definitely not like the way that the game looks like it's intended to do it, but this is Line Rider. You can do whatever the heck you want. Okay, looks like he's gonna go back to the more intended speedy loop-de-loop route. Instead of, you know, edit the first part where your guy just does a flip. Oh! You can see Mundungu just hoping, like, maybe he'll just, like, collapse over the finish line like a marathon runner. But no. Landing on the sled would be nice. Aiko so close, but, like, jumped up to the other line. Is needing to make a comeback here. There is a fair amount of game left to play. And is running
Oh
into the
no,
same wall that Mundungu ran
Mundungu.
into. This game's so mean. I'm curious what the response is gonna be from our racers. Like if you had like this on a train, you had like 4 hours. I'm sure it would play similarly to like the same reason people loved Blind Rider when it came out originally. In a race format, I can imagine this is just frustrating to spend 20 seconds of your life watching your guy do the same thing that you've seen him do previously, and then just refuse to finish. Okay, we are on a level called Roller Coaster, which you know is going to be fun. The the only thing you could possibly do is draw more speed lines at all points. This actually wouldn't be a terrible idea, I think, to pull out the regular line, and I think Mundungu's agreeing. It's another loop-de-loop. Mundungu is taking this responsibly and going with the testing approach, potentially. No, he just lost where he was in the controls. When we talk about like puzzles and like we have like worlds, right, and there's levels and there's stages, like this is very clearly just like individual puzzles. You're like, okay, we're gonna do this loop-de-loop and then this loop-de-loop and then this loop-de-loop, and you have to like figure out how that loop-de-loop's gonna possibly look. But it does like have an effect on your future, right? Like the momentum that you had coming out previously is going to change how the puzzle could possibly be done. Aiko's so hopeful here. Nah, buddy. Your guy's upside down, facing this snow. Questioning his life decisions. Please just pause and go back to the drawing board. Mundungu's first attempt here. You're going to have to jump up there because you can't go through the line. That looked close.
Ooh, okay, he crashed there, but should be a small fix.
I'm not sure if Aiko's having issue with the puzzle portion of like not realizing that he needs to lose speed more significantly, or if it's an issue with the execution where he just doesn't have ways to lose that speed. As soon as I say that, I'm pretty confident that's what he's now trying to fix, but the long line that he had previously was ignoring that mechanic. Here we go. Nope, he could also just backboard it. Like you can just draw a line and like make an early ceiling I don't remember if that would be a left to right or right to left. I assume that's actually one of the uses for right to left. Mundungu, yeah, close. This is 3 out of the 4 red things have been collected already by the point that Mundungu died, so making good progress here on Roller Coaster. Yeah, exactly, Airmath. I think Aiko could make a wall here. Or you can just do Mundungu's strat, which is get lucky. And solve.
Sure.
Calling it a solve is a bit rude, but it's a solve.
To get to the end, it's a solve. Line around it.
It's like it has so much action, and then you're like, oh wait a second, this is just a puzzle game. Okay, so both players approaching a level they haven't seen before. Mundungu's is called Topsy Turvy, which is probably a name. When you like start naming your levels, it's going to show up in like 20% of the games that we have in MT. Aiko's dealing with free fall, which, I mean, good luck. Drawing the first line here on free fall and like having it work out is gonna be pretty lucky. But Aiko
Got it
definitely needs
first
to
try.
make pace. He can't get walled anymore.
Has to hope for a wall from Mundungu.
Yeah, I mean, if Mundungu continues the pace that he's been going, I think that could be beatable. I think there's just enough game. But yeah, obviously, a lot of the issues that these players are running into is wall based and not understanding based, for example. This one, where Mundungu is now, is kind of monstrous. You just like see this loop already built, and it's just unclear what the game wants you to do with it.
I'm not sure Aiko is understanding the direction thing, is drawing the wrong direction again.
Oh, drawing right to left.
Yeah, just went through the line twice in a row and I was doing the same thing again.
Yeah, I didn't get into the race chat quick enough to catch the pace bin, but you can check if it's in there for right to left versus left to right, because it's something that even if it is in the pace bin, it's the exact sort of thing that you'd forget that you read.
It's not in the basement. Looks.
Yeah. Sully, is the guy's name Bosch? The only character I know in this is Bailey, and it's because we unlocked her. Actually, I think both players unlocked her now. That's funny. Bosch is a good word. It's the exact sort of thing. You're like, Bish Bosch, I've solved the level. Lean back and enjoy the 20 seconds of your player reaching the finish, or worse, reaching the finish and then not going to the actual end. That's wicked there from Mundungu. Double wicked. And the amount of wickedness means that he's lost momentum, and the next jump doesn't get there, but he hasn't drawn here yet, so I think he's going to be more than fine. He needs to kill momentum in the last section, and I think that's a type of puzzle they haven't seen yet, so I'm curious how he approaches that. I think drawing a speed line towards that section is potentially suicidal. This game is so funny. You just catch one little thing and your guy just goes absolutely flying. We are 50 minutes in. which is traditionally the mark I think of when, like, puzzles, if you're in a puzzle game, it's fried you. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case here. They haven't spent 50 minutes thinking like you would in a puzzle game. They've spent 30 minutes thinking and then 20 minutes watching their guy not do what they want them to do. But we're looking at a long race here. Even if Mundungu makes great speed, it's still going to be probably over an hour. And the last level's not easy, if I recall. Is this a solve? It looks like it. Good stuff there from Mundungu, and while Aiko's also moved on to Upside Down, this is getting pretty close to the end here. Act 4, Part 3. Is there anything to do in this game except for draw a speed line? Mundungu says no, at least on first approach. Figuring out a way to go over this without just flying off into space is going to be part of the puzzle, and Mundungu says, I don't think it's that hard. Meanwhile, Aiko's like curiously really trying to curate this this line, and yeah, there's a small issue here. Could use the slow line if he remembers it, but it's been like half an hour or more since like that felt applicable. And it would be like a roller coaster drop, right? You just slow right before you reach the end. Do you like Mundungu's loop here?
Could work. Let's see.
That's...
Yeah.
How much do you know about roller coasters, FFAO?
Very little.
A lot of like roller coaster history and like loop-de-loop history is like really interesting. It's just like one of those things that you get suggested on YouTube, and figuring out like how tight of a loop you can make to not just murder someone with the amount of G-force, and then also like the shape. I find in Line Rider, like making shapes that look like what you think loop-de-loops look like is the correct way to go about it. Um, this looks healthier, but like, what's gonna happen when you reach the top of this? Yeah, that's actually looks pretty close. Thankfully, Bosch here doesn't care too much about G-force. He does care about impact, though.
Through that line right left, I think. Didn't matter.
And now, the next portion, which... Huh. This portion doesn't have anything to draw on. How about that? So you have to fix something else much earlier before that loop. Mundungu's approaching a portion that I don't think our rider is actually touching, so I don't think it's going to change too much. Yeah, it just needs to make the loop smoother and the landing clean.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Aiko's just gotten stuck on this portion of just needing to slow down, which is like difficult, but there is a mechanic that they've been explained of slowing down. Actually, he's just doing the loop-de-loop, and I think he's also running into the issues of right versus left.
It's a very unintuitive mechanic where it will never not be funny just seeing the guy go past the line and zoom to the nothingness.
Zoom to Nothingness is a great name for a song. Goodness, that's like so Gen Z build. It's brilliant. I hate being a millennial, man. we got Line Rider though. Like this is what our childhood peak was, right?
I didn't really play a lot of
Does
Line
that count?
Rider. Counts.
Yeah, it counts. I don't know what. I'm like the exact generation where like the helicopter game was my Flappy Bird. Where N Plus was the best game that was available, which we've seen previously. Also, I think that was a PSP, but another one of these like classic games that got put onto the mobile DS or PSP of the generation. It's always a little bit of a pity that we aren't able to just put more Flash games into MT, but the really good ones ended up being made, either be it sequels or added to these like mobile systems. I'm under the impression both these players are probably thinking that their opponent might be done. Like the levels that are giving them trouble. Once they're finding the solution, or like sometimes they are just finding solutions very quickly that probably seem difficult. And we're approaching the hour mark, which is pretty typical for the long end of our races. 90 minutes being the actual cap.
They also have some information to tell them that this game is hard. Like, there was one other person in the race that was a Mega Number forfeited almost immediately. And then they also saw that the tester shortened this goal because it was Act 5 initially, I think, when submitted.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Actually, maybe that's better because the last level of Act 5 was pretty brutal. Yeah, it's always hard when you're submitting games that you also have like actual experience in. So I do not mind the goal being changed. We're getting clearly more than enough Line Rider. Anyways. Come on, Aiko. He's going for the full loop-de-loops, and there's just so much speed coming out of it that getting it to hit all three of the reds is quite difficult.
I like the idea, like, that theirs is already drawn line. I don't care, I'm just going to make my own though.
I really liked his idea of just ignoring this loop entirely and using, well, he's trying to use gravity and a bump to stop the momentum, but woo! He's gotten all three of the reds, now just needs to land it, which just a little tiny change might be able to do. He's coming in at like a pretty weird angle for him to be able to land it though. And then just getting absolutely speared. Meanwhile, on Mundungu's side, I think this might be a right to left line. I'm not sure this is going to do what he thinks it's going to do.
Oh, it's a line he drew, so you can just reverse the direction of that line. Maybe just doesn't understand what is happening.
Yeah, it's just a difficult level, Omega. Skipping the the slow portion was my like understanding of how the level could be done.
Mundungu drew
But
another line
it
in the
always
wrong
felt
direction.
and was possible to do. Yeah, Mundungu's just run into the same problems. I feel like these players are probably trusting the pace bin and would think that like if there was a mechanic to explain how the lines worked, slowly had me remove it. I'm not gonna point fingers, but if you want, I got a guy. I do trust him though, like in that having it for like a ceiling, especially on that level that we saw both these players trying to slow down their momentum. Like there's a reason why these. Ooh, let's go, Echo. That's progress. I got way too much speed up this hill. I think you probably still want like a little bit of boost. He wants a lot of bit of boost. He wants to do the full loop-de-loop, and I don't think you need to do that, but it's the way that the level is drawn, so it might be actually the fastest way for him to execute it too. He's really leaning into the curve tool. It worked well previously on the level that walled him, and kind of at this point in the game, this
Working
isn't.
again.
Yeah, this isn't a race of. There we go. Oh, he missed the animation though. What are you supposed to know what the little characters are up to? This is 4-1 for Aiko. Mundungu.
Drew another line in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Four 3. 4-2. I don't remember if there was a level between roller coaster and the one that. Maybe no, we already did topsy turvy. I think this might be like a one level difference. Yeah, curve tool's great. I thought it was slower than just drawing it. Like you can see, Aiko's just having to adjust a lot of different things. But as the levels get harder, and you just have things that you very precisely want to do, it's useful.
And also this tool to manually adjust the line by just a little bit because you don't have any undo. That's really useful.
Yes, true. Absolutely.
Mundungu is annoyed. I mean, at least some of those were drawn in the correct direction, so one of those will work.
Oh no, most of those were left to right. And the poor man has broken his neck. He will be out for 12 months. And maybe never to sled again. Aiko's drawn the full level. Let's see if he can one-shot it. No. And that's unfortunate. That was the one that he spent a lot of time on, like making it precise. He's changing the loop shape. My instinct would have been to change the color on if not all of it, like maybe red for the first half and then stop having red. It's so precise though. Like I know these guys both like going fast. There's a reason we're in this tournament, and it's just pure engineering at this point. Okay, Mundungu's made progress. I don't know if it's happy progress because he needs to find a way to like go up the hill to go back down the hill. And don't. Okay, and he's learned his lesson, at least for the moment, of drawing left to right.
Aqua's doing what you said now, doing boost for the first part. That worked, but was a little bit too fast.
He's absolutely flying through the rest of the level. And the issue with the rest of the level is fine. He has the ability to slow it down here a bit.
To slow it down even.
Okay, but now that he's remembered the slowdown here, and the slowdown's not slowing it down much. Are we sure this is the slowdown and not the like the regular line?
People fall before, like what he's doing now should be gravity should be able to do.
Meanwhile, on Mundungu's side, we have gotten the first portion all set up. And losing it.
Once you have enough speed to go through that in the wrong direction, go through that red coin and fall the other side, I guess. Echo just a bit too fast to the finish. Just a few more slow lines.
Just flies through the finish line, but he's made it to the finish line, and that's 90% of the battle.
Yeah, and now it's pretty simple.
He's already on yellow. Just put the brake pad on. And this is gonna be a bit of a... Okay, put a lot of a brake pad on. It's kind of hard to like... Just put the whole thing on. You'll make it to the end, I promise. If you... but it's kind of hard to like really visualize how quickly your guy's going. I'm kind of surprised these, yeah, I'll do. These yellow lines aren't stopping it more. But compared to like the early levels, we just have so much speed. So Topsy-Turvy, I believe, was the level that Mundungu was on previous to the one he's on now. Just
It's
called
a
Which Way.
two-level difference.
Yeah, he's not learnt the lesson of drawing left to right. He still has not learnt the lesson of drawing left to right. Because this is, while mostly down, is in fact still right to left. But maybe that second line they drew will do the trick. So close.
Maybe should make those lines boost lines, because the problem he's having is not having enough speed.
He is drawing right to left again.
Yeah, that boost line won't do anything.
It might affect the rider, but I don't think it will affect the rider in the way that Mundungu wants. Yeah, it will just kill him. It's its ceiling. It's annoying. Because this is just, he's just gonna go through this. These are essentially ceilings, and there's a difference between ceilings and floors as far as this game's concerned. and Mundungu's just almost testing of just how the game works here 70 minutes into the game is not, it's not clicking. He's going to draw the line 6 times and it's not going to do anything different because he drew the line the same direction 6 times. Meanwhile, on AiCo's side, we just see a complete use and overuse of the slow. We've given up on being speed runners. We are now slow runners, and it might be the solution here. Just trying to make sure that we're also able to get up the hill. And oh, what happened to our line? New idea, actually. Just decided to clear it out entirely, but this might work. You don't really need to draw the hill if your little guy's just gonna jump off.
This is such a weird way to go about this, but it's working.
Yeah, just refusing to do loop-de-loops. No. A bit too pointy, eh? I feel bad. Like, we've had both of our players just wall in, like, silly little ways, but Mundungu's is one that, I could have, done more to fix, so. Meanwhile, AiCo's lines are insane. He's just asking the game nicely to not, destroy his little dude, and the game says no. I will absolutely destroy the little dude.
Keep going for rats here.
Mundungu, no.
Oh.
Yeah. I joined this race thinking, well, I see the goal's been shortened. I trust AiCo's a great puzzler. He's probably gonna do as well as I did or better. Dinner's being planned, and I'm like, come on, boys, draw that line left to right. Maybe like actually do the loop-de-loop. I now have I have stakes.
We have a race between Mundungu and AiCoVT, who at least was a friend of Own Noobs until an hour ago. We don't know what the
Yeah.
situation is now.
It's fine. They don't tell you the submitter until you watch the stream afterwards, and he won't do that because he's not having a great time as far as I can tell. Yeah, we do have a finish, by the way, from Half Beastie, who didn't join the race chat, is not intimidating the players. AiCo can't even be mad. Like, it's clear this is not what the game wants you to do. The game, like, is asking you to do some crazy loop-de-loop stuff. And so when he just completely goes over this this red piece, because he's just making so much speed, which is gravity, like, you could, you know, just draw a loop-de-loop. Or, hear me out, just face plant your way up the loop. That didn't look half bad, except for the fact that I have no clue how to recover that once you're face down. Mundungu's got a solution. It's not the solution, but like, has either potentially learned to draw left to right, or is getting no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you're good, Half PC. I'm happy to hear that somebody's been able to defeat this game because it's enigmatic. Is that a word that applies here? This is my issue with casting. I'm pretty sure I know what I want to say, but I wish I knew how to say it. Mundungu is still ahead, per FFAO, who I trust implicitly. Is a 2-level difference. However, Mundungu is really stuck on this portion, while Aiko, I think, is drawn right to left and needs to go fix that line because he just went straight through it.
I understand that
But
you
has
drew right to left.
defeated his current puzzle and is looking at this going, I don't understand why it didn't work, but
At least
did he
I
miss his
trust that he
did he miss
won't
his red one
mess
too?
with the first part. Oh no, that's not the issue. So,
Yeah, he didn't see it in the replay, and he's gonna be. Nope, you're drawing right to left. Ugh.
okay, now I realize it.
Yeah, definitely seen it. It was a little bit of a cursor wiggle, which I've seen racers here do. But the reason I know Echo is from we both played competitive Spy Party, and in that community, where you're trying to snipe, like you have a little laser pointer. Despite the fact that it gives away part of the game when you just see the sniper wiggle, we do find that it helps with relieving frustration, or at least is nice for the casters. I appreciate showing that you've acknowledged that things are difficult. We got 15 minutes left before the last call, essentially.
Situation's getting dire for Echo because I think even if Mundungu keeps walled here, maybe it doesn't have enough time to complete clear 3 levels. In the 13 minutes that are left.
I mean, yeah, at the pace that they've been going, for sure. Unfortunately for Aiko, I think the same levels that have been giving Mundungu trouble have also been giving Aiko trouble. There is a world where that could stop being the case, but this portion, that Mundungu's having trouble with here, it's not instinctual. I don't think anybody in this race has really drawn a line the first time and had it work perfectly, which is a bit surprising to be honest, but that's how it's been. So, and there's just such a cost when you crash. You have to watch the whole thing, and it takes 15 seconds. It's Aiko's gonna have to complete every level by drawing every line and having a few of them work first try.
I don't think that's possible. In the race chat, the racers are saying, too bad this game doesn't work.
Well, yeah. I'm not agreeing with them. It's just,
I mean, they're clearly not having a good time. I can tell that
yeah.
much.
It was originally Zenek. I don't wanna trash the testers more, but they had it removed. And the reality is these players, it's kind of it hasn't been taught to them. They are going to be justified in their frustration when they get told. I feel like it's been evident. There's a reason why I didn't argue more to have it put in there. or like kept in there. But for both players, it's just not clicked and it shows. Yeah, we could have. I'm not sure how we would have written it, but apparently, if you just have too much speed, you just go straight through the coin. That seemed very unfair on Mundungu's side, but the level's called Choices, and I think this is one of the easier levels because you just take the choice that gets you the red coins and you ignore all the white or yellow coins.
Going straight through the coins has happened to Mundungu a few times.
Yeah,
That's the game actually not working properly.
that's the game actually not working. Mundungu just taking three tries to figure out which one was the one that didn't get grabbed. Our players are fried, and I don't blame them. Yeah, we can get it fixed for next time if these players permit us doing it next time. Is this the last level? Little man was grumpy. Oh, okay. So Mundungu skipped which way to complete choices, and choices was super easy. Meanwhile, Aiko's finished. Topsy-turvy still has to do light speed, but this one is not particularly difficult. It is just draw the lines where they belong to go. Mundungu's having to start this from all over, which means he's having to redraw the lines that he had earlier in the game. And they look a lot healthier, actually. That looked like a great start. He's also like drawing the curve, which I think was a large part where he's minimizing the fall. This could actually result in Mundungu just finishing properly.
Yeah, that second line
As a
was
reminder,
really
our
good.
racers do not see each other. Like Aiko doesn't know that he's behind. They just know that they're both fairly close to the finish and just trying to get as far as they can.
It needs to draw just one line so it doesn't get killed by the other line acting as a ceiling. Yeah, this looks good. Maybe bit too angled.
Aiko's using a mixed line strategy, is gonna fly through another one of the... I wish the game actually worked. I'm with him now. The going too quick, or like whatever this stupid hitbox is that's not letting them grab these targets, is a very valid complaint. It should be a quick fix, but I don't recall having this much issue with it. These guys are just showing me that this game is more finicky
Hey,
than
Mundungu did the
I
first
remembered.
part. Are we going to see a finish?
Oh, I mean, this level's not over, but you just need to make it to the end. Both of these ways get you to the last red, which is right before the finish, so you're more or less guaranteed to get it. Let's see if Mundungu's instinctual lines are correct. They rarely are.
They're not, because one of them is in the wrong direction. So.
Yeah, definitely didn't help, but he's gonna make some massive speed here.
Oh.
This game's so funny. Holy. I'm just like trying to be hype, and then Line Rider's just like, no, I'm not hype. I'm comedy, and I'm like, yep, I remember that now. You see like these YouTube videos with Hall and Mountain King, but we just need to replace it with Benny Hill. Okay. We'll see here now. He makes it over the edge, and the line is left to right. Or, sorry, the wrong way around, right to left. The stakes have never been hotter, as in, I need to make sure that my steaks aren't burned. Um, and we got 5 minutes left. It's hard to imagine at this point Mundungu taking the loss, but there is a lot of drama if Mundungu can finish this race before the the 90-minute timer. Just absolutely rejected there by just the smallest stupid little thing. Yeah, you need to live with that anyways.
It's so weird that it's never was a problem before, and on this level, Mundungu just seems to love going right to left. Woo!
It's still hard to left, buddy. Can you remind me if this is losers? I believe, but can't remember
It says
what
back
Aiko
5
lost.
on the top there.
Back 5. I'm just gonna go look at the bracket in advance. Okay, so the winner of this will play Econ. In what will be losers 6.
Carry
Good
opponent.
showing for either, but this is just a brutal way to go out.
Mundungu almost made it. I think we're going to see a finish. Exciting.
It's just a game of just tangible progress after tangible progress. Even within a level, it's like, okay, I made it out of this. Let's go look at the other half of the level I haven't even touched. And what champ for potentially getting a finish here? I believe in him. He's drawn 3 lines. That one worked. I mean, kind of. Parks next to the dead tree. His man is happy. There is like one additional like thing afterwards, but it isn't a new level. It's a cutscene. Congratulations to Mundungu, finishing under the 90-minute mark with a even 127. I am curious to see if Aiko champs this out. I have places to be, but if you do get Mundungu in, give him my congratulations. If you get Aiko in, give him my apologies. I think is probably the best word for it. But thank you for having me, FFAO, and for anybody who's watching, there's gonna be more games. We'll see you guys soon, or I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, I'll see if the racers are gonna come in. Aiko comments, no part of it worked. Mundungu comments 4-4 doesn't work. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
So, how did you like this fun Line Rider game?
It's not Route 4, so I can't complain.
So if you draw in one direction, they don't exist. You draw in the other direction, they're fine. Is that what's going on?
No, it's actually like the lines they're solid from one direction only. So if you draw from one direction, they're a ceiling. If you draw from the other direction, they're a floor. Kind of like that.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
kind of, yeah, like felt like I noticed that kind of earlier on, that it was just like that things were just, I was just phasing through things for no good reason, and like I thought that it was like one way for a second, but I wasn't like sure enough, nor like drawing my lines well enough in the right direction to like be confident in that.
It wasn't really a problem for any of the racers, but then in 4-4 specifically, Mundungu kept drawing his lines right to left.
Okay.
Then, yeah, I don't know what it was with that level layout that just prompted you to just draw the lines in the correct direction.
Yeah, I didn't run into that in any other level. I don't know.
I guess the
Pretty
first
random.
level that was a big wall was at the level where you had to make a ramp and go up. So did you have a plan for going up, or was that kind of like luck?
Sorry, wait. Who were you asking?
So early on, you were very stuck in that ramp, making a ramp level, and like, did you get frustrated? What were your thoughts while we were stuck on that level?
I mean, I feel like yeah, there was obviously like frustration. Obviously, getting walled is like not particularly fun. I feel like I think the jankiness was the one that kind of was just what annoyed me the most about it. Because like there was one stage in I want to say Act 3 that just held me up for like a good while, just because there was no solid solution. It was like level where you slid up a ramp and you could either go into like back down into a higher or lower ramp below. And if you went onto the higher ramp, it'd send you flying too far and you couldn't do anything about it. If you went on the lower one, it would clip you into the top one before you could actually land on the lower ramp that you need to go down to the like end. Like that was kind of the big one for me that I feel like was just frustrating, because I'm just like, this, what do you want me to do here? Like it's just kind of like can't control that sort of jank, I guess.
Both of you got wonderfully janky solutions to that level. I think Mundungu went halfway through a line and then somehow made it back, and you looped through the level twice and then somehow worked. I'm not sure
Which
what the
level was this?
intended solution was. I think it was called forking paths or something like that, where you had
Okay.
three ramps and
Yeah,
you had to go back.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
remembered that. I saw the name as I finished the level. I saw the name and I was like, yep, I'm gonna bring up that level if I remember it. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that's the one where you had to get like the perfect amount of speed to not clip through the floor again, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Like to not go through the ceiling of the, yeah, it was.
Okay.
Also, was it just me or were there a lot of like just ripped sound bites from like other like famous franchises?
Uh, I don't know.
Like a lot of those like sound effects, laughs, screams, like from a little guy, like I'm pretty sure one of them was SpongeBob SquarePants, honestly.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember anything about the game before 4.4.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they stole some stuff from Trials or something.
A lot of it did
Probably.
sound kind of familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on exactly where. Yeah, looks like at least you're not that frustrated with the game, so we can conclude that at least Aiko should still be on Noob's friend after that submission.
I thought most of the game was fine. Like, it was pretty good.
Yeah, like I
And
think
there's
it's a
some
fine
stupid
game,
levels like
just needed fine tuning on points, really.
Like sometimes it would just go straight through a target because we were going too fast. That was something we noticed was kind of broken.
Yep.
yeah, that wasn't a huge deal. You just had to move the ramp a little bit.
Right.
So with this, I guess Aiko is out of the tournament. Hope you had a good time.
I mean, first time and I made it to top 32, so I got no complaints here.
Pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid performance. Looking forward to what to do in future research. And Mandago is going to move on to face Econ, I think. Strong opponent.
All right.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And let's see what next in the schedule. We have 20 hours and 8 minutes. We have Triscorp versus Arcbliss. Should be a good match too. Bio Kirby versus Callback 1 hour after that. 2 races tomorrow. And then the day after, we have 3 races lined up. Nodoza versus Moonware, Jeff M versus Marshmaster, and Oratory versus Jakazan, which is a race that feeds into top 8. So maybe our first confirmed top 8 participant is going to come from that race. And yeah, that was a good race. Thanks to both for your interview, and see you next race.
Yeah.
Yep. Later.